brand new polling, which shows overwhelming support for the DOGE cuts. When asked if the U.S. federal government debt is unsustainable, 67% say, heck yeah, it is. It's unsustainable. 33%, nah, man, we got this. But when asked if DOGE is helping make major cuts in government expenditures, 60% say, heck yeah, it's helping. 40% say, no, it's not helping. And finally, when asked if DOGE should have access to the sensitive data, remember that one? 58% say, heck yeah, give them the access, compared to 42% who say, no, don't give them the access. So we want to dive further into this now with Robert Bluey. He's president and executive director of the Daily Signal, and also Dan Turrentine, co-host of Morning Meeting. Also, Dan served as chief of staff for then Congressman Jared Polis, who's now the governor of Colorado. Thank you both for being here. So, Robert, it seems like Elon's doing what Trump promised, but it's really who's doing it and how it's being done that has people all fired up. Am I wrong?
This time around is you actually have somebody who is serious about cutting spending in Washington, D.C. For years, politicians have made promises. They have not followed through on those promises, and Elon Musk is doing that. He's doing so at the direction of Donald Trump, which, as the commander-in-chief and the CEO of the executive branch, has the authority to designate an individual under his direction to do exactly what Elon is doing. So I think that American people should get used to this. We're not going to see the end of it until DOGE has finished its work.
Dan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it well. There's been, I think, too much focus by Democrats on who's doing it and how he's going about it, right? You know, he didn't give him 30 days notice, so it's like a foot fault in tennis. But I think, look, there is polling that shows that people have concerns with Musk. So I think to some extent, you're going to hear more about it. And I think at times it's coming across as a little chaotic. Like today, I think this evening, the Office of Personnel Management put out word that people don't have to follow what Musk said. But look, I think as Robert just said, overall, Trump ran on this, and common sense tells everyone there is some spending that shouldn't be happening. And where they find it, Democrats should say, you know, good on them and let's fix it.
Well, let's talk about the poll I just referenced, all right? It also asked respondents, take a look, walk with me here, I want to show you. It asked respondents, should U.S. reduce debt by increasing taxes or reducing government expenditures? Simple question, right? Take a look at what Democrats had to say. Reduce government expenditures. 72% of Democrats say, heck yeah. No surprise, 94% of the GOP said that as well. So again, think about that, guys. When you see that, Dan, and how are we supposed to reduce government expenditures, which 72% of the Democrats in this poll say, yep, we want done, without creating chaos, without having issues, when you're bucking the norm?
Look, that's the $1 million question. And I think this is where Democrats have made a mistake, because every time Musk says anything, we scream about him, we scream about the process, and we scream about every single cut. When there is something legitimate, then people don't hear us, right? Because we're constantly complaining. And I think what that survey shows is every household has to make cuts at varying points, you know, in the arc of its lifetime. Every business has to make cuts. So Americans understand this. So for the Democratic Party to always say, just raise taxes is crazy. And it's one of the reasons we find ourselves where we are in the minority.
Yeah. Robert, President Trump posted on Truth Social that he wants Elon to be more aggressive. So my question to you is there a world where Elon could maybe go too far with this?
Not with the massive debt problem that we have. And as we all know, in talking about this issue, the government is running a $2 trillion deficit, and there is a lot of work just to be done. This is not a revenue problem, as Dan was just talking about. This is a spending problem. And so I think that there is a lot that Elon can do. There are 2.4 million federal employees. There are a lot of government programs that just haven't delivered on, they don't match the return on investment that you would have in the private sector. And so I think that there is a lot more that Elon Musk can do. And I would hope that Democrats can work collaboratively with Republicans to try to streamline and make government more efficient. At the end of the day, I think that is a goal that hopefully most Americans can get behind.
Wouldn't that be something, Dan? I mean, why won't Democrats say, we saw what the voters said in November, and we agree there is waste that needs to be cut. Let us work with you to make that happen.
Yeah, I think this is where a little bit of kind of how Musk has gone about it. He didn't endear himself, very early on with some of his taunts and brash statements. Now, you can make the argument that's what was needed to get this done. But look, the rubber's going to meet the road here for both parties when Congress starts trying to pass this reconciliation bill, because the only way you'll ultimately get the type of deficit and debt reduction is to look at entitlements and defense. And that, even Republicans are saying, wait a second, we're a little nervous about Medicaid or Medicare. And I think Democrats will, sit there and say, is that the trade-off that you want to make? The country may say yes, but I think we're about to have that conversation.
We're having the conversation now. Robert Bluey, Dan Turrentine, thank you both for sharing your thoughts with us tonight. We do appreciate it. As Elon chips away at this excess spending, DOGE hasn't gotten it all right every step of the way, something Elon admits isn't realistic. Listen here.
Some of the things that I say will be incorrect and should be correct.